I hope you're ready because whether you're ready or not, I'm here to give you my review of Ready or Not, Here I Come. See what I did there? As the new horror sequel wastes no time, Grace wakes up in a hospital handcuffed, accused of mass murder, and thrust immediately into a new nightmare. The Lodomus family was only a branch of a sprawling, ritual-obsessed aristocracy. Now 4 rival dynasties want her dead, not for revenge, but because killing her or controlling her determines who ascends to the high seat, a supernatural political throne that controls the world. This expansion transforms the intimate, housebound terror of the first film into a globe-spanning conspiracy. The mythology hinted at earlier becomes a full-blown occult hierarchy, complete with competing factions, ancient rules, and a sense that Grace has stumbled into a centuries-old war she never asked to join, but now has to hide and seek out her survival. The film also introduces Grace's estranged sister, Faith, who's played by Katherine Newton, whose arrival complicates everything. The relationship, fractured by childhood trauma and adult resentment, adds emotional texture to the carnage as the two navigate assassins, rituals, and betrayals. The story becomes as much about repairing their bond as surviving the night. The first film skewered old money privilege. The sequel widens its target to institutional power. Instead of mocking one's family's entitlement, it satirizes the idea of a ruling class that treats governance as a literal blood sport. The high seat ritual becomes a metaphor for how power is inherited, hoarded, and violently protected. Grace is no longer the shocked bride fighting for her life. She's a survivor who knows exactly how the game works. The film explores the exhaustion of being hunted again and again, and how trauma shapes identity. Faith, who didn't endure the first massacre but suffers its ripple effects, becomes a foil, a reminder that trauma can be spread from one person to the next, which I did enjoy Grace and Chloe's banter and chemistry within the film, but I feel like their bond and backstory are very similar to Sam and Tara's and Radio Silence's earlier films Scream 5 and 6. Which, don't get me wrong, I do love those movies as well, but I am sensing a pattern with Scream 5, Abigail, and now Ready or Not 2, with the protagonist abandoning a loved one and exploring their dynamic for the third time now. So I just feel like either Guy Busick, who wrote the films, or Radio Silence are just recycling material at this point, and I think they just need a new backstory for these protagonists. We need something new and fresh. This sequel leans into the absurdity of elites believing they earn their status through arcane trials. It's a satire of systems that pretend to reward credit while actually rewarding lineage, wealth, and violence. The rituals are elaborate, ridiculous, and deeply revealing of how the powerful justify their dominance. There's this one scene, without any spoilers, that involves David Cronenberg's character, and it's only a few seconds, but it's powerful in showing what it means to have the high chair, and it's pretty relevant to events that are happening today. Samara Weaving remains the franchise's beating heart. She plays Grace with a mix of bitterness, gallows humor, and ferocious willpower. Her performance acknowledges the character's trauma without losing the anarchic fun that made her iconic. She's bloodied, exhausted, and furious, and she's never been more compelling. Katherine Newton brings vulnerability and volatility, where Faith is not a fighter, at least not at first, and her arc from frightened outsider to active participant gives the film emotional weight. Her chemistry with Weaving adds a sisterly tension that enriches the story, but again, we need new material. Elijah Wood, Sarah Michelle Gellar, and David Cronenberg lean into the heightened tone with zest. Not like that. The characters are grotesque, charismatic, and often hilarious embodiments of elite decadence. Oh, and Adam Brody. Adam Brody was great in this movie as well. But I just recently started watching The White Lotus. I think I'm on season 3 now, and the actors who play the elites in this movie remind me of the vast number of characters that are in The White Lotus, where each actor seems to understand the film works best when everyone commits to the absurdity. Where the first film was a tight, claustrophobic cat and mouse thriller, the sequel sprawls across mansions, forests, underground chambers, and ritual arenas, giving Ready or Not 2 more spectacle and less suffocating and intimate tensions. The directors embraced the sequel's mandate to go bigger, even if it means sacrificing some of the original slow burn dread, which I thought made the movie lack a little for me, since I did enjoy that tight atmosphere of the original, but nonetheless still had a lot of fun with this one. Radio Silence continues to love a practical gore, but now with more elaborate traps, weapons, and ritualistic set pieces. The kills are outrageous, darkly funny, and choreographed like mini action sequences. It's like horror with a wink, where it's gruesome but also charming at the same time. The humor is more overt this time, sometimes biting, sometimes slapstick, always self-aware, and the film knows its sequel and leans into the absurdity of escalation. It's a tonal tightrope, but one the directors walk with confidence. If you love the first film's blend of gore, humor, and anti-elite bite, Ready or Not, Here I Come gives you more of everything. More blood, more world building, more satire, more chaos. If you enjoy the tone and atmosphere of Abigail more than Ready or Not, you'll definitely get a kick out of this film. I think it does lean more into the absurdity that was in Abigail. It's less surprising than the original, but more ambitious, and it cements Grace as one of modern horror's most compelling survivors. And so I give Ready or Not, Here I Come an A-, an 8 out of 10. I think I gave Abigail the same rating, the same score, but if I had to rank them, I'd probably put Abigail above Ready or Not, Here I Come, and then Ready or Not, the first one, is above Abigail. But yeah, let me know your thoughts on Ready or Not, Here I Come. Have you seen it yet? If not, are you excited to check this movie out? Radio Silence are like one of my favorite pair of directors, and I can't wait to see what they do next.